Hey guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you are good and doing well. So, in the last lecture, we implemented the active job to export the active record data into CSV and Excel format, and then we allowed the job to send that exported files, whether it is CSV or Excel, to the user who has requested for that data. Okay, now from this lecture, before moving on to the further features of this project, okay, what we will do that first we will discuss about a general point that is very important part of the development of any project in any technology. Okay, and it's just a very basic part of the software development, that is how to identify bugs in the existing system. Okay, because bug are separate than errors. Okay, why? Because error is something that halts the execution of your system, but bugs are the thing that doesn't halt the execution, which is fine, but it result in unexpected behaviors of the system. Okay, that is not expected by the customers or the user who is using the software. Okay, so identifying the bugs as soon as possible, and mainly when the project is in development mode. Okay, then identify the bugs is a good practice because it takes very minimal time to fix that, and it also limit the budget to fix them. Okay, because once the software get deployed and the real world customers start using that, okay, and if there are any bugs the customer finds, then it takes much time to fix it, and it incurs more development cost to fix that as well. Okay, so here we will basically find an approach that how to find bugs. Okay, and I intentionally left some bugs in the system. Okay, because it depends upon the project that whether you are working on a in already working project, already ongoing project. Okay, and you have some feature list assigned. Okay, and while working on some features you might see that these are the bugs in the system and we need to fix it before pushing the current feature, or before pushing it for the next release. Okay, because that is a best approach to maintain or develop the bug free system. Okay, so let's see how we can find the existing bugs in the system. Okay, so let's say that you started today on this project. Okay, now, let me tell you that how we will find the bugs. So here in this lecture, we will focus only on finding the bugs at the UI level. Okay, I mean at the front end part. Okay, so here you can see that I am at the company dashboard right now. Okay, and this is the sidebar that company users can see. Okay, and if I go to the, for example, let's say in incognito mode, let me open the application in the incognito mode, and if I log in as a normal user, let's say, okay, sign in. Okay, so you can see that here I cannot see that sidebar. Okay, and in the code I can show you that in the layout.html.erb I have added, I am rendering that partial. So here you can see if user is signed in and current user is employer, or that user has the role employer in the database, then only we are showing this employee sidebar. Okay, so now let's come to the point that here as a normal user or as a job seeker we are not able to see the sidebar. Okay, but now if you go to the employer sign in, we can see this sidebar because this signed in user is the job seeker. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, that if we view this job, okay, so you can see that we are viewing the, we are seeing the details of this job. Okay, and we still have the sidebar here, so this is fine. Why? Because we added this for the employer users. Okay, or the user who has the role employer, so visibility of this sidebar is fine. Okay, and here you can see that we are showing the all the job applications received on this data, and we also allowed this filtering. Okay, now here you can see that we have a button view as job seeker. Okay, so when you click on this view as job seeker, you can see that this is the detail that job seeker can see. Okay, now if you copy this URL and go to the incognito mode. Okay, go to the incognito mode and paste this URL into the new tab, you can see that this is what a job seeker user should see on the browser when he is trying to view this job detail. Okay, but in the job, sorry, but in the employer layout, what we are seeing that we are still seeing this sidebar. So this is a kind of bug. Okay, why? Because we already added this condition that this should be visible only if the user is employer and user is signed in. So that condition is satisfied here. Okay, but when we are seeing this job as the job seeker or as a public user, then we should not display this sidebar. Okay, so this is a kind of bug. Okay, why? Because the button clearly says here that view a job seeker. That means we need to see this job exactly in the same way that a job seeker can see. Okay, and in the incognito mode you can see that this is how a job seeker can see this job detail. Okay, so we need to fix that bug. So this is a kind of bug that we already have here. Okay, and now let me show you a few more bugs. So here you can see when we click on post a job. Okay, so here you can see that in this header card, what we have, create a new job, and then we added a warning that field marks as star are the required fields. Okay, and why? What this message indicates, that it indicates that in the form, wherever we have this asterisk sign or this star sign marked as red, okay, that means it clearly tells users that these are the required fields and you must fill this. Okay, now let me submit this form. If we submit this form, we will see error like this. Okay, but this is not the way that it should behave. What should be happen here, that as we already added the warning message here that fields marked as star are the required fields. Okay, then we must display this asterisk sign to all the labels which are required for the respective fields. Okay, so this is a kind of bug that we are showing some warning message but we are not displaying them. Okay, however, on submitting the form we are displaying the errors. Okay, but that is not the correct way. Why? Because we already displayed this warning message, or we already indicated this information to the user that wherever this is displayed on the form, it should be the required field. Okay, but now let's refresh this page. So here you can see that no label is followed by the asterisk. That means customer will say, or the normal user will find it like it is not the required field. Okay, so this is the bug that we need to fix. So we find two bugs. Okay, now let me show you my company. Okay, so on company, when we click, this is the company record. Okay, and here you can see we have a button that public view, like how a user sees the public view of the company, or when a non-employer user or a job seeker sees the company details. Okay, so let's click on the public view. When you click on the public view, you will see something like that. So this is the company information, and here we are still seeing the post a job button. Okay, sorry, post a job button and the my job list and this sidebar. Okay, now if you go to copy this link and go to the incognito mode or open this link as a job seeker, okay, then you will not be able to see that sidebar. So here in incognito mode, or when a public user directly sees the company detail, this is working fine. Okay, but here in the employer dashboard or employer layout, this is not working as expected. Okay, why? Because as we already mentioned here that public view, and what the public view means, that it should not be same, or it should not contains any elements that the employer should have. Okay, but here you can see that if you go to the company's public view, we can still see the sidebar. Okay, now the other bug is, for example, let's go to the my job list. Okay, and if we go to this view job button, sorry, not view job, let's say view as job seeker. If you go to this view as job seeker button, oh sorry, we already covered that. So let me take you another example. For example, let's say remote job. Okay, and let's buy the company Hill. Okay, so this is the company of the current user. Okay, sorry, let me find the current user's company. Okay, yeah. So this is the current user's company. So if user see this button, then this is not fine. Why? Because he is the already the employer user and he posted the job. Then why to see that apply to this job button? Okay, if you click on this, you can see that user has posted this job. Okay, and this is the user's company. For example, if you go to the company detail page, you can see that this is the currently signed in employers company and user can still apply on this job. Okay, so this is not a fine way. Why? Because an employer cannot should not apply on his own job in real world, okay, or in some sense, okay. So these are the kind of bugs that we need to fix, okay. So this is the thing that I just wanted to show that how we can find the bugs. So these are the bugs that we can find. Now how to fix that? So to fix the bugs, we first need to find the way that we can look at the code files, like where we have to make the changes, okay. So let's start with post a job button, okay. So make some space into the terminal, okay, and now refresh the page. When you refresh the page, you can see that this is the first approach, that first refresh the page and then check into the logs that where it is taking you, okay. So you can see that it started get company jobs new and it is processing by company jobs controller new as html, okay. That means you have to go to the new action of the company's jobs controller, okay. So let's open the company jobs controller. So from the controllers, you can see company jobs controller, okay, and it is the new action. Now, clearly, it is clear that to fix this bug, we first have to visit the new.html.trb of this action, okay. So you need to go to the company jobs form or new.html.trb, okay. So now let's see that why I directly go to this template. So here you can see it is rendering company jobs new.html.trb company jobs form.html.trb, okay. So it is being rendered. So now you can see that we have this message on the form that create a new job or field marked as star are the required fields, okay. But in the form we do not have added that star field, okay. So what we need to do, that we need to add that at the rest sign to show that this field is the required field, okay. So and it should be followed by that. So let's do that. For example, let's add the at the rest sign here, okay. Sorry, just to save this and go to the browser and refresh it. Okay, so you can see that this is the asterisk sign that we can see here, and similarly you can put it to all the places there we are seeing that, okay. But still you can see that this is the blank. So what we need to do here, we need to do it something like, let's say, span class text danger, okay, and paste it. And then complete it, okay. Now you can put it behind the description as well, okay, behind the job type and the job location, behind the applicable for, behind the salary range, behind the total position, and behind the status of the job, okay. Now paste it everywhere and save it. Now if you refresh the page, you can see that all the fields are now showing this red at the risk sign, okay. And if you click on this empty form, you can see that this is all the errors that we are showing, okay. So this is what we need to do and how we can fix this bug, okay. So this is the first bug that we fixed. So now our form is matching with the same warning that we provided here, that field mark as at the rate are the required fields, okay. Now let me take you to the my company, okay. And if we click on the public view, you can see that this is showing the public view, okay. And this is the post a job button, sorry, this is the sidebar, okay. And for the public view, this sidebar should not be visible, okay. And what the public views exactly should be, you can see it should be exactly like that, okay. So what we need to do here, that first we need to add some condition to that. So if you go to the company details .html.trb, okay. So here you can see link to public view. So first what we need to add, we need to make some public view parameter or some query string, let's say public view, and let's make it yes, or you can set it true as well, okay. Now we need to check that whether this parameter is present with the request or not. If this parameter present in the request, then we should not show that sidebar, I mean the employer sidebar, and especially if the employer is signed in, okay. So what we need to do now, that we need to go to the layouts, okay. And here you can see user signed in, current user employer, okay. So here we need to add one more condition, that at the rate not params public view dot present, Okay, so if it is present, okay, then it should not be visible. So let's go to the browser again. I mean at the employer view, okay, and here you can see that this is the company detail. Refresh the page. Now if you click on this public view button, you can see that we sent this public, sorry, we send this public url in the browser as a query string, okay, and now employer will not be able to see this public view, okay. But still for the public view, and if the employer is signed in, we need to hide this button that applied to this job, okay. So what we need to do here, just refresh this, okay, and go to the logs that where it what it is showing, that we need to fix it through the, sorry, sorry, this is the wrong way. Let's refresh it again. Refresh this, and you can see it is processed by the company's show as html, okay, and this is the params and this is the id. So we can show, we can directly click with that, like public view is yes, then do not show that apply to this job button, but we will handle it differently. So go to the show.html.trb in the company's view, sorry, in the index view, sorry, at the show page, sorry. So here what we need to do, that unless user signed in and current user employer, okay, if user is signed in and current user is employer, if this condition true, okay, then what we need to do, we do not need to display this link. So let's end this, sorry, here, end this and save it. Now go to the browser and refresh the page. If you refresh the page now, you will not be able to see this apply to this job button, okay. And if you click on this view job, still there is one issue. If you click on the view job, you can still see that it is showing the senior ruby on rails developer required this job, but it is still in the company view, outside view, but we are seeing this as a employer view. So this sidebar is still appears here, okay. So what we need to do, that we need to add that condition, I mean that public view parameter here as well, okay. For example, let's say here what we can do, if user is signed in and current user dot employer, else end this. So if that condition is false, then we will display this link, display this link, okay. Otherwise what we will do here, that we will display view job and then job path, job id, and add that query parameter, that is public view as yes, okay. Save this, back again, and now refresh this, and if you click on this view job, you will see that this is the public view of the job, okay. So this is fine. So this is how you can find the bugs and fix them, okay. So you can replace that, apply to that job form as well. Now there is one more way to achieve that, to prevent that apply for this job button to be display when currently signed in user is employer, okay. We can show that button, and when user click on that, okay, then we can redirect it on the, or say some other page with the flash message that you cannot apply this job as you are the, you have posted this job, or you are the employer, so you cannot apply on this job, okay. So this is how we can prevent that. But rather than preventing it after taking to the controller action, which is open the applied job form, we can directly handle it using some is by hiding that button on the at the first glance when the user visits the company page as the employer. Okay, as a job seeker and currently signed in user is the employer. Okay, so this is how we can fix the bugs. Now what is the importance of this approach? Okay, because fixing the bug is very important thing while working on any kind of project, whether it's the small scale or whether it's the intermediate scale or whether it's the complex project. Okay, because as soon as you start identifying the bugs and removing the bugs, you will start making your very secure system, okay, which saves the time and cost and which enhances the security and most of the requirement thing, which is the it improves the software quality as well. Okay, so this is how I showed you that how to find bugs and how to fix them. Okay, and in upcoming lectures I will show you that how to fix the bug which is at the code level. Okay, I mean that right now we just fix at the view level bugs. Okay, but let's say there is something which is uh, generating some results based upon the backend calculation. Okay, and how to fix those backend calculation and how to identify those backend bugs. Okay, so we will discuss about that as well. But for this lecture I hope you got my point, that what I want to tell, that how to find bugs and remove that so that we can enhance the user experience of software or a rails application, or whether not a rails application only, it applies to all kind of software applications, whether it is developed in the rails or whether it is developed in some other language or it's a mobile application or desktop application, whatever it is. Okay, but finding the bugs and fixing them as soon as possible enhance the quality and security of the software. Okay, so that's all for this. I just wanted to clear that my point about how to find bugs and how to fix them quickly. Okay, and in the next lecture we will meet with the new feature list for this project. Okay, till then, tata, goodbye, take care, stay safe.